In 2025, federal investigators uncovered what they described as one of the most sophisticated immigration fraud operations in recent years. Authorities say desperate migrants paid tens of thousands of dollars, believing they had found a secret route into the United States. But behind the promises of freedom was an underground empire built on fake identities, forged documents, shell companies, and international smuggling routes. According to investigators, the operation stretched across multiple countries, moved millions of dollars, and helped hundreds bypass immigration controls. Some migrants thought they were flying legally. Others had no idea the identities they were using belonged to real European citizens. And by the time federal agents moved in, the network had already become a multi-million-dollar machine. This is the story of the Cuban Visa Fraud Empire. Economic collapse, shortages, inflation, and political pressure pushed many families toward one goal: escape. Legal immigration pathways were becoming increasingly difficult, so underground networks stepped in to fill the demand. At first, the operation looked legitimate. Recruiters promised clients safe travel routes into the United States. They claimed migrants could avoid dangerous border crossings entirely. Instead of crossing deserts, clients were told they would simply fly. The cost, sometimes more than $40,000 per person. But investigators say the organization offered something extraordinary: European identities. According to federal prosecutors, the organization allegedly obtained stolen or forged European identification documents. Some identities belonged to real people. Others were entirely fabricated. The strategy was carefully designed. European travelers could enter certain countries more easily, sometimes without the intense scrutiny faced by Cuban nationals. Investigators say migrants were coached extensively. They memorized fake personal histories, learned new birthdays, practiced accents. Some were instructed never to speak unless questioned directly. Others traveled through multiple countries before reaching the United States. Authorities believe shell companies were used to purchase airline tickets, reserve hotel, and disguise financial transactions. The operation became so advanced, prosecutors say it functioned almost like a multinational corporation. Investigators say the network generated millions. Payments moved through cash drops, cryptocurrency wallets, offshore transfers, and front businesses. Some migrants sold everything they owned to pay the fees. Others borrowed money from relatives already living in America. Authorities later alleged that members of the network lived lavish lifestyles funded by the operation. Expensive cars, designer clothing, luxury vacations, all while vulnerable migrants risked arrest, deportation, or worse. But as profits grew, so did federal attention. Federal investigators began noticing unusual travel patterns. Multiple travelers appeared to share similarities in documentation. Some photographs looked altered. Others contained inconsistencies invisible to ordinary airport staff. Homeland Security investigators quietly launched a multi-agency probe. Phone records were analyzed, financial transactions traced. Undercover surveillance expanded across state lines. According to investigators, encrypted chats revealed coded conversations about flights, payments, and deliveries. The organization allegedly believed it had become untouchable, but investigators were already closing in. Then came the raids. Federal agents executed search warrants across multiple locations. Investigators say they recovered fraudulent documents, electronic devices, financial records, and communication logs tied to the alleged scheme. Several suspects were arrested. Prosecutors announced charges connected to immigration fraud, smuggling conspiracies, identity-related crimes, and money laundering. Authorities described the operation as highly organized and deeply coordinated. But even after the arrests, investigators feared other connected networks might still be operating internationally. Behind the headlines were human lives. Some migrants were detained after arrival. Others disappeared into undocumented labor networks. Families lost savings, children were separated during investigations, and many victims claimed they believed the process was completely legal. Immigration experts say desperation often creates opportunity for criminal organizations. The more impossible legal migration becomes, the more profitable underground systems can grow, but investigators were already closing in. Human smuggling has evolved. Today's networks don't always rely on hidden trucks or dangerous boats. Some operate through smartphones, encrypted apps, forged databases, and digital identities. The Cuban Visa Fraud Empire exposed something much larger than one criminal organization. It revealed how modern smuggling networks adapt faster than borders can respond, and somewhere investigators believe similar operations may still exist, hidden behind travel agencies, online chats, and promises of a better life. In the end, the dream of escape became a criminal enterprise worth millions. A network built on hope, deception, and desperation. But, for investigators, this case was never just about fake passports. It was about the growing global industry built around human movement, where identity itself can become a commodity. If you enjoyed this investigation, subscribe to Hustle and Crime TV for more true crime documentaries involving cartels, fraud empires, trafficking networks, and international conspiracies. Because sometimes, the most dangerous criminals don't smuggle drugs, they smuggle identities.